Israel is firm in its resolve to launch a ground invasion in Rafah, which it considers to be the last stronghold of Hamas. Its allies, including US, are opposing the plan. Palestinian militant group says Rafah invasion could lead to massive bloodshed. Diplomatic parleys are on to discuss the fate of Gaza's southern city. Israel's defense minister is in the US after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu cancelled the visit of his top aides to the US. This means an alternative approach to Rafah invasion is likely to be discussed as US maintains that safety of over 1 million Gazans in Rafah is a top priority. This comes after Washington abstained from voting on a United Nations Security Council resolution calling for immediate ceasefire and release of hostages.
My decision not to send the delegation to Washington in the wake of that resolution was a message to Hamas. It was a message first and foremost to Hamas. Don't bet on this pressure, it's not going to work. And I hope they got the message.
Now, amid ongoing discussions, what has not ceased is the fighting, even as the threat of invasion looms over Rafah. People on the ground are already suffering. In an overnight Israeli strike on 3 houses in the city, at least 11 people were killed. This has brought the total death toll to over 32,400 in Gaza.
كل بيت فيه حد لازم ينضرب، العدد زاد عن 10 15 لازم ينضرب. مش منطق هذا، مش منطق نهائيا. وين العالم؟ وين الأمة؟ وين العرب؟ وين العرب؟ حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل.
The wartime prime minister says that Israel cannot achieve total victory on Hamas until its key battalions are still operating in Rafah. According to Israeli forces, Hamas's 4 battalions were still active in the area. They believe some senior leaders of the militant group are also hiding there. As a result, strikes and shelling continues.
اللي الأربع دور حوالينا وزاد الضرب هاي محددونا بالاجتياح وقالوا إنه بياخذوا الضوء الأخضر باجتياح رفح. وين المجلس الأمن يا عمي؟ وين العالم كله منا؟ وين العالم كله باللي بيصير فينا قاعد يا عمي؟ احنا قاعدين هان عايشين بموت.
Around 1.4 million Gazans are currently crammed into makeshift tents in Rafah with limited access to food, water and medicine. These are people who have settled in Rafah after 4 or 5 rounds of displacement. Israel says it plans to shift civilians to humanitarian islands in central Gaza. But even in other parts of Gaza, the situation remains volatile. 2 key hospitals in Khan Yunis, Al Amal and Nasser Hospital have been under a blockade, while Israeli forces are still operating inside Al Shifa, Gaza's largest hospital, which they stormed a week ago. Israelis accuse Hamas of using hospitals as shelters, a claim Palestinian militants and medics deny. Humanitarian situation has worsened to the extent the United Nations has warned that famine is imminent in the region. The report says that famine is likely to occur by May in northern Gaza and could spread across the Gaza Strip by July. Spanish military planes airdropped 26 tons of humanitarian aid to Palestinians on Wednesday, while calling on Israel to open land border crossings to prevent the famine. Other Western countries, including the US, France and Germany, have also been airdropping aid into Gaza. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.